second grade. Okay, I am going to show you the science experiment that you can use to write your lab report. And you have two choices. You can write your lab report from the experiment that I do right here, or you can set up your own experiment at home and write your lab report from that. So you're just going to look for things you have around your house. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. You're going to make a ramp somehow. So I just used some books to make my ramp here. You need to find something that can roll. A lot of you probably have toy cars or trucks you could use, but I'm going to be using a ball. And you're going to need some way to measure how far your ball rolls. So if you don't have a tape measure or a ruler, that's okay. You can measure in a different way. The long side of a paper is 11 inches, so you could add 11s to measure with a paper, or you could just measure with a book and you could say my ball rolled 5 books. Any way you can measure is okay. Remember, we wrote our question and our hypothesis yesterday, and what we want to find out in this experiment is, will the ball roll farther on a hard flat surface or on a bumpy surface? So I'm going to do my experiment on the hard flat surface first. You might want a little piece of paper to write down your measurements so you have them for later. A scientist needs to do their experiment more than once to find out what kind of results they get. So I'm going to roll my ball 3 times. You might want to roll it 3 or 4. It's up to you. Make sure when you put your object on the ramp that you're not pushing it down the ramp. You're just letting gravity take the object down the ramp. And it probably won't go straight. That's okay. So here's the first time I'm going to let my ball go down the ramp. All right, and I'm going to go from the front of the ball to find out how far it went. I'm going to try to go straight across to my tape measure, and I'm going to call that 58 inches for the first time that my ball went down the ramp on the hard surface. Now I'm going to do it 2 more times to see if I get a different result. All right, this time my ball went farther than my tape measure, but that's okay because I'm going to mark that that's 60 right there. And then I'm going to measure the extra distance. So I have 60 plus about 10. I'm going to call that 70 inches for that one. And I'm going to do it 1 more time. If you have to move your tape measure like I did, make sure that you put the edge of the tape measure where the 0 would be right back at the edge of your ramp. All right, here's the 3rd time that we're going to let our ball roll onto the hard surface. All right, again, we went farther than 60. Plus, this time about 14, so I'm going to call that time 74 inches. And now I'm going to set up my experiment on a bumpy surface.